We have run Oikos since before they were born. And now they are adults, and we home educated them all the way, and we continue to grow Oikos. God continued to grow Oikos. We continue to serve in it. And how did that happen? The way it happened was them being part of our lives. So when a shipment of books came, because initially, we print most of the books in Oikos. Now we've got printing rights from America from most of them. There's some we still have to import, like the Apologia hardback, because we don't do hardback yet. So when books came in, we stopped what we were doing and we went and helped stamp all the books and count them in and check them in and get the invoice out. And I've got photographs of him as in nappies with a stamp going, on each book, because there was a pile like that of them, So the thing is that what we've done is always involves them in our lives. And that's why I think people that are, couples that are running a home business or family business, not even necessarily at home, but running a family business, again, I go back to the Jesus model, and I go back to how it was then, and I go back to the carpentry shop and that imagery. And we did live out of nowhere because we took our child there because we were told that she had a few months to live. So we took her out into the country, and we've lived there ever since. So there's, again, was another gift. But in that time when we were so isolated and it was just us and the family, the family is what served in Oikos. And we had moms retreats and people coming and going and to find out about home education, and it was could be called very disruptive. But what we sought as instead is this is what God's called us to do, and this is how we serve Him. But we do need to respect certain times, such as Bible study time, may not be interrupted. So we put Bible study time into it because that was our anchor and our life. So we put Bible study into time that couldn't be interrupted. And then I would also say to Greg that I'm finding that the backwards and forwards with maths and language are a bit difficult because you go 3 weeks of consistency and then we go on a ministry tour for 3 weeks. And we're only doing ministry tour stuff. And I'm reading aloud in the car, and we're doing Konos living as we go. So Bible study in the car, reading aloud, and Konos living. We're busy with cooperation now because we've got to go to the UK. So now we're going to have to cooperate with one another. So there's no time to sit and take your maths and language books. Then I'd get back and I'd find we had gone back quite a bit. And I had to refresh a lot and then get back up to where we were. So I said to him, I don't think it's really nice for the children to have to keep doing this, And I want there to be a consistency in their formal learning. So as you can see, I haven't just chucked it all out, okay? So what we did then is we put in a time of the day that was for formal learning. And it was an hour. Half an hour for maths, half an hour for language, done for the day. So I had to have 1 hour in my day that was dedicated to that. And sometimes we had 5 children because the foster children, and it was still an hour. No, maybe it was an hour and a half then. Okay, because then it was 10 minutes, go around, that one's watching their maths lesson, that one I'm going to do language with, and so on, like that. And so what happened was my time of actual tuition was that hour. And then I would leave them to something, like get the tea ready or something, because I got 2 phone calls to make. But what I did then is I would give them an activity. It was, we just learnt what we're going to do with Konos that day. And so it was, they're going to go and get all the equipment ready, all the tools, whatever they need to do this activity. And while they're getting all that ready, I'm going to go make a couple of phone calls. So it's a little bit disruptive because maybe the phone call is going to take a little bit longer. But then I have to have discipline. And I've got to say, look, I'm really sorry. This is what my children will tell you they heard me saying on the phone. I'm really sorry, but I'm about to go into another meeting. Thank you very much. I have to speak to you again tomorrow, next time. But my meeting was with my children. It wasn't a meeting with another business person. I went into a meeting with them because now we were carrying on with what we were doing. So the way we juggled it was like that. We integrated them into our lives as well. So when it came to Oikos things, when I was sending physical newsletters to everybody, we would put a tea bag in the newsletter in a little origami pocket. So they sat and made origami pockets while I read the word to them. So now instead of me making those origami pockets, I was reading the Bible while my children made origami pockets. Then they stuck them onto the newsletter and they put the tea bag in while I read them the read aloud story. And all of this, I can tell you, it happened beautifully. And I know that it was God. I know that He just directed it because I know that's what He wanted. And it does, when I look back, I think, how did that happen? How was it possible? And I can see how it was possible with His direction And it was without me trying to tear myself into 10 pieces. Like, I've got to teach now I've got to do the domestic work, and now I've got to do something for Oikos, and now this mom needs me to get back to her, and now I need to get the newsletter out, and and the books have come in, and now we've shorter books because now they're all arrived water damaged. Now we haven't got any of the books. We're going to put an order in again. A lot of business things going on the whole time. But while all of that happened in a day, it was life. So we would say, look at these books. They've all arrived from the ship water damaged. So now we're going to have to take photographs. Jamie, you go get your camera, put the books out on the driveway and take photographs for me. Right, he's busy. Next one. Missy, tea's really important now. We need tea. Okay, it's just we need tea. Thanks, Missy. You go do tea. And she would be so pleased with herself because while she's doing tea, she set the tray. She's making everybody better now because we've got a calamity. Okay, Jamie's helping with the calamity. She's making the tea, and I'm writing the email to the Lateral people to tell them the books are all damaged. And so that's how we did it. And how did we live Konos and all of that and have all this time on living Konos and Bible study? We started with Bible study, and we didn't stop until we were done. It could be 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, and business can wait. Work can wait. Now, if you're running a shop and there's somebody in the front of the shop and you've got people coming, that's a different picture. Now you've got to find someone to replace that, or you do your Bible study in the evening. You leave the shop at 4 o'clock and you go home and you do Bible study. But I'm just telling you, we did not compromise on Bible study. And if it needed to take longer, it took longer. And if things had to wait, they waited. They just waited. Because let me tell you what happened when we were obedient to that. The rest of the day was very different. The way we handled the day, the things that happened, he ran around the corner and he broke his ankle. Okay? Now, all of a sudden, the day's upside down. We've got to get him into hospital. And what happened was we had done Bible study that morning and we were prepared for this day on its head. And what happened to the other things? Oikos things, they waited.